I'm Joel Berg, and today I am the face of America. The way to end hunger in America is ensuring that all Americans who can work have a job that pays enough to feed their family, and for everyone else, children, seniors, people with disabilities, veterans who are out of work, we made to make sure that there are programs like the SNAP program, the new name for the food stamps program, available to everyone. School meals should be available free to every kid. Every senior in America should have a free senior meal. We're the only industrialized Western nation on the planet that has anything close to a serious hunger problem, and it's long overdue for us to end it. I'm Joel Berg. I am CEO of Hunger Free America, a nationwide anti-hunger advocacy and direct service organization. I'm also author of the book, America, We Need to Talk, a self-help book for the nation. And I also co-host a radio show on WBAI radio here in New York City. Sure, I'd love people to donate to Hunger Free America at www.hungerfreeamerica.org. I'd love people to volunteer with us through hungervolunteer.org. But the very top thing people should do right now is to fight to ensure that their senators and congresspeople and mayors and governors fight for public policies that end hunger in America. Hunger used to be a bipartisan issue in the United States. Richard Nixon, for all his horrible, horrible flaws, as until then, the president most dedicated to ripping apart the Constitution, until then, even Richard Nixon had a great record on reducing domestic hunger. Bob Dole, right-wing senator from Kansas, had a great record on reducing domestic hunger. But in the last few decades, unfortunately, it has become a partisan issue, with the vast majority of people pushing to dismantle the anti-hunger safety net being Republicans, and the vast majority of people pushing to strengthen the anti-hunger safety net being Democrats. It's not communism to say that all of us should eat. It is smart capitalism to say that capitalism will only thrive when people have enough food to work, when kids have enough food to thrive in schools, when seniors have enough food to thrive as independent, older Americans. So it's just smart for our economy to make sure all Americans have a sufficient supply of healthy food. And when the right talks about, oh gee, this is some socialist bailout, they're only talking about programs for non-rich people. When President Trump wants to give $12 billion, that's billion with a B, $12 billion to aggregate businesses across the Midwest who are hurt by his in-name tariffs, they magically found $12 billion under a pillow or something to give to them. But when it's hungry people getting $1.40 per meal for food stamps, SNAP, that's the current allotment, $1.40 per meal for the food stamps program, now called the SNAP program. The right goes crazy. Oh my God, they don't deserve it, even though the vast majority of people who receive SNAP are working. They're working parents, they're children in working parents' homes, they're people with disabilities, they're senior citizens, they're veterans, and yet people on the right are going nuts about their $1.40 per meal. I grew up in a household that was infused with a commitment to a better world. I had a great aunt who was one of the few survivors of the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire in the early 20th century, where more than 100 young immigrant women workers were killed in a factory fire here in New York City because they were locked in by the bosses. My grandmother was a union organizer. My father had me write to Nixon at the age of 5, telling him to end the Vietnam War. And so all through my life, I saw the need for all human beings to have a responsibility to fight for social justice. So it was just a natural thing for me to do. When people say, why are you so passionate about this? Why do you care so much about this? Why are you so active? I have a really simple answer. Why isn't everybody?